So what you're going to do for this assignment is you're going to go to classwork and you're going to look for color theory color schemes. Click on the article, How to Create Your Own Color Schemes, and read through the different types of color schemes. There's a lot more out there, but these are going to be your standard basic color schemes. First one is going to be monochromatic. The next one will be analogous. The next one is going to be complementary. Then split complementary and triadic or triad. There's a few more in here, but don't worry about those. Those get a little bit more complicated. So after you've read through the article, take a look at the 10 Commandments of Color Theory. This kind of little cheat sheet, kind of a handout that kind of shows you what, for example, like complementary colors are across from each other on the color wheel. So they show you a little diagram here pointing to two different colors on the color wheel. And then they show you some examples of some logos using that color scheme. So take a look through that. Then what you're going to do is there's going to be a color schemes Google slide that you're going to use, and hopefully this will work for everybody. But what you're going to do is click on the next slide. So all of these should be set up for you. And so for monochromatic, you're going to type the definition in here. So a color scheme using one hue but different values of that hue. And you can get those definitions from the article or from Google, that's fine. Then what you're gonna do with this color wheel is you're going to show me a diagram of how it's laid out on the color wheel. So for example, a monochromatic color scheme is just one color. So I'm going to take this line tool right here and I'm going to go from the center and I'm going to draw a line to one color. It doesn't matter which color on the color wheel that you pick, but you're going to pick one color because that's what monochromatic means, is one color. If you go back to that handout, you can kind of see this is what we're creating right here. Okay. Then in the squares here, you are going to choose that color scheme. So in Google Classroom, there is a link to Adobe Color. And you can use, if you can't access this website on your device, just Google color scheme generator, and there's tons of them out there and they're free to use. So when I click on this, what it's going to show me is over here on the left, it's going to show you the different color schemes, or they call them color harmonies on here. It's the same thing. So we're not going to use all of these. We're just going to use the top like 5. So with analogous color schemes, you can see when you read about that, that's colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. When I click on monochromatic, then it's one color. When I click triad, that's 3 colors that are equally spaced out. And then when I click on complementary, those are colors that are across from each other. And then when I click on split complementary, that is when I take one color and instead of picking the color directly across from it, I'm going to split it on each side. So you can use this website to help you come up with an example of a color scheme. So let's go back to monochromatic because that's the one that I'm using as an example. And you can pick whatever color you want. So as I slide this around or I pull this in, you can see that it's only choosing one color, and I've got 5 colors here that are within that color scheme. If I want lighter values of color, I just pull this closer to the center If I want more saturated colors, I just pull this out more towards the edge. And I can turn this and do whatever color I want. So this is going to give me a sample color scheme for monochromatic. So now what I can do is I'm going to write down, I think I can do this. So this color right here is number 751501. If I go back to here, I'm going to click on the table. I'm going to come up here to the fill color. I'm going to go to custom, and I'm going to type that number in here. So 751501, and there's that color. And go back to, oops, wrong one. And go back to Adobe Color, and I've got F7694C for this color. Go back to my slide, click on the next one, and go to Custom, and type in F7694C, and it should pick that color. And you're just going to continue filling that until you show me an example of a monochromatic color scheme. When I go to the next slide, it's already an analogous color scheme. You're going to put a definition in here. Make sure you understand the definition. So type it in your own words. Then you're going to draw lines to show an example of an analogous color scheme. Then you will go back to Adobe Color. You can click on analogous. Use this to pick a color scheme, write down those numbers, those hex numbers, and fill in the boxes here. The next one will be complementary, then split complementary, and triad or triadic. That will be it.